You're listening to The Metal Lens. Life, the universe, and everything from a metal point of view.
Okay, and we're back.
Yes, indeed. We are back.
New and improved. Just when you think, I know what you were thinking, could there be any more light added to the situation? Well, we don't like to disappoint. So if you thought there couldn't be, we're overachievers. That's kind of how we roll. That's what we do.
Yeah.
So there's a little more light so you can see our beautiful faces better.
Yeah. We invented our pal, Light. He's got a friend, but we decided to let his friend sit out. We're going to have to see how like shiny and ghosty we look.
I think one might be enough. Because I had the suggestion that we put it up high or low, so we can do the whole thing in like 90s death metal insert cover, with the band in there and get the shadows.
I'd
get leather jackets.
When you were a kid and it was Halloween and you turn off all the lights and you take the flashlight and you go, and that kind of effect. And I think they did something similar to somewhere in like I think it was like Butcher the Bird.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Or maybe they did the all red thing. I mean, they might have did both.
I think in Butcher the Bird they were just standing around like some church or something. They're all outside in leather jackets. Can't see anybody's faces.
I think every band from the heyday during the 90s had it. And they're not walking around like, all right, let's go ahead and take this shit.
Right.
Just drinking back beers and fucking around and talking.
So when we were in Rotten Anatomy, that prompted us to do the most. We would never take a serious picture ever. We made it a point not to.
And I think that kind of rubbed off on me because I never
just to be different.
I never stopped. Actually, nowadays when I take photos, I try my best not to smile. So everyone is like, hey, kicking around, and I'm actually kind of good at it. Like I'm trying to resist the laughter.
You're not that guy that always seems to catch that amazing photogenic moment every time people like,
oh right, yeah. It's usually I'm eating popcorn.
Yeah.
So anyway, well,
digging something out of my beard.
That was yesterday's breakfast. All right, so here we are, February 28th, 2 days after Ash Wednesday.
February.
3 days after the peak of what we just missed. Well, let me rephrase that. Since our last episode, we here in New Orleans, however you
New Orleans.
New Orleans. Anyway, Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
Came and went, and
it did.
Boy, what a weird fucking Mardi Gras it was, huh? Just by virtue of what they had, two people got.
Oh yeah.
And it was older people, grandma and grandpa, and no one ever brought it up, but I couldn't help but think to myself, like, grandma got run over by a king float, because of that.
Yeah, we had a couple of deaths.
A couple of people got killed,
and. It really, and that hasn't, and of course everything with government and any capacity is a knee-jerk reaction. And, honestly, it happened twice this year, but it hasn't happened, a fatality by someone being run over by a Mardi Gras float hasn't happened in 40 fucking years. So you can kind of look at it as a bit of an anomaly. But... we had a few fall off floats, and that kind of always happens. That's not an anomaly. But
they have a couple of people, because a bunch of fucking drunk people with money fucking falling off the floats. You're gonna have that. That's gonna happen. You're gonna have that, as Tim would say. But and they had a couple of people. There's always somebody doing something stupid and getting drunk and injuring themselves, and it's usually never a big deal. But I will go ahead and put on my my conspiracy theory cap.
Oh, good.
All right, you ready for this? Mm-hmm. Hang on, let me go ahead and put on my All right. The conspiracy theory cap.
That was the same one.
So Nicole was talking with a coworker who was in what was it Nick's? The first one.
Yeah, the first one was Nick's. So.
The first person died, Nick's, and so the backdrop is this. Apparently, the city, for whatever reason, they were looking to limit the number of floats, that roll per parade. They were trying to max that out, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and also I think maybe, I don't know if this is part of it too, maybe slow them down as well or speed them up. I don't know. The point was they wanted the, probably speed them up. They wanted the parades to last not as long as they were, right? And what this person said was, this coworker, was that so another thing, in case you don't know, the story was that the first person who got killed was attempting to go in between two floats that was tandem. So that is one float basically connected by like a trailer hitch or some kind of, not a trailer hitch, but I mean, they were connected somehow.
Which is relatively a new thing. Relatively, what, 20 years maybe? Less than that? Probably a little less than that.
So basically you got tractor pulling a float connected to a second float, and sometimes even a third float, like an Endymion. But so this coworker, she said, no, that didn't happen. She was going up to the front of the float. She knew somebody on the float. They were trying to get something, and she slipped or tripped or something. It's really easy to slip on those beads on the ground, and that's when she got hit. Didn't have nothing to do with about no tandem thing. Okay, so how does the conspiracy thing come in? The city, purportedly, all right, spun the whole tandem thing so that they could split up the floats. And by splitting up the floats, that means number 12, which was 3 floats long, now becomes numbers 12, 13, and 14. Okay? And once you do that, then after that, you stop the parade. You've limited so by doing that, they're saying like, okay, now you have 3 floats out of that. What was previously 1 float, now you've got too many. Now you've got to reduce the number of floats because it's going to dip into the next parade, whatever. So let's go ahead and incur this float limit. So that's the conspiracy thing, if you will, that they kind of spun this story.
Well, I did, and I did find it odd that our mayor, the Toya Cantrell, the first thing, we need to split up these tandem floats. And I was like, why is that your solution? And I couldn't understand why that was the solution to the problem. Well, which seemed extremely knee-jerky to me.
It did, and it seemed
and
to
it
come
didn't
up
seem like it had
too.
a lot of thought behind it.
Right. That was the first solution being offered, right?
It was.
Okay. So I'll go you one further. Notice the cap's still on. All right.
All right.
The fact that 2-3 years ago, something like that, during Endymion, somewhere not far from Lee Circle, some guy was drunk and ran into a bunch of people, killed more than 2 people. I think. I don't remember, but several people were killed. Several more people were injured. Guy was drinking and driving. I think he was finally convicted like a year ago or something like that. So, so my question is, how come the city wasn't quick to react on something like that? Okay, when something like that happens, it's not obviously the crew or the city to blame. Whereas in this situation, when you've got these dangerous tandem floats, you've got the crew to blame or the city to blame. So the city's like, no, we're going to go ahead, put the blame on the crews and say no more tandem. Okay, we're going to instill.
And that's because ultimately it's the city's fucking fault. So they're trying to get blame off of them as quickly as possible.
Which in New Orleans, of course, is unheard of.
Right.
So that is my conspiracy. I'll take my cap off. There we go.
Yeah.
So anyway, Mardi Gras has come and gone for yet another year. Regardless of all that, I had fun. Good times were had by all. And, everybody it was just weird, it was kind of tense. But, we did the best we could, and we got some days off of work. You most more so than me.
As a boto roulette,
Yes.
let the old people's heads roll.
Yeah, so say we all. So yeah, before we go, you got anything before we roll into the news?
News. We got to have some kind of thing.
That's one of the things
the
I wanted.
metal news.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about that.
Yeah.
But we got. I got some thoughts that I'm not going to waste precious airtime. But we will have a convo,
Yay!
as the kids like to say.
Oh, is that what they say?
They say that from time to time.
You start because you have more than me, and some of mine might be yours.
Okay. The first bit of news is purely visual. It's a picture, and Troy, and I want you to pay very close attention to this picture because I think it's a good one. All right, ready?
What is that? Care Bears or just random stuffed animals?
It says
just
plush animal. I don't know. I don't know if it's necessarily some new trend or if it's just shit that comes from Walmart. But we'll post a picture up there. We're not trying to embarrass the guy. I know he's got a couple daughters. He's talked about them in interviews and stuff like that. He's got kids, and I don't know how old this is. Mm-hmm. This picture of George Corpse Grinder Fisher just doing his daddy thing, because that is, we're not all a bunch of.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he would do that just to do it because he's not a very serious guy. If you ever seen interviews
really,
of George,
I mean, it's Cannibal Corpse and shit.
Yeah,
you
but
watch their videos, it's pretty serious. But no, off.
He's a very funny guy.
Yeah, very fun loving.
Yeah,
unless you fuck with his mic levels, then run. So I thought that was amusing and mellow. Oathbreaker. Members of Oathbreaker and Yob are forming a new death metal band.
What?
Living Gate is the new band featuring guitarist Lennart Bossu, B-O-S-S-U, from Oathbreaker and Amen-Ra. And Levi Sen... okay, so
Levi.
All right, I'm just going to go ahead and jump ahead and say, 3 out of 4 of these guys, I cannot pronounce their names properly. Levi from Oathbreaker and Amen-Ra. Drummer Wim Srepak, also from Oathbreaker. Where the fuck are these guys from? Are they French or Canadian? And bassist Aaron Reisberg, I guess. Yob and Norska going to put out their debut EP, Deathlust, in May 2020, and are currently streaming their new single, Living Gate. I have not heard it yet.
I will certainly check
look
that
into
out.
it, but you should look into it. They came together with a love of classic death metal bands like Suffocation, Morbid Angel, and Death, none of whom I've heard before. As well as newer stuff like Tomb Mold and Blood Incantation.
Okay.
Blood Incantation, not to be confused with the Incantation. But they're kind of, I don't know if I would call this a super group, but they're kind of getting, I mean, have you listened to Oathbreaker before?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've heard Yob before.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what Oathbreaker sounds like, but I don't know, how would you describe Oathbreaker? Can you...
Doomy, kind of.
And Yob's not really, I mean, Yob isn't death metal.
No, it's just Yob.
Mm-hmm. So
more along the Doom lines, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. But, this ought to be interesting. I mean, heavy, but...
Yeah.
So this ought to be kind of cool. So anyway, I thought that was neat. And away we go. Next. Oh, Corpse Grinder. Move along now. Dave Mustaine to release memoir about 1990 Megadeth album Rust in Peace, which, if you follow the podcast, has made our number one best of the top metal albums of all time. And yeah, so that was in 1990, certified platinum by the Recording Industry Association.
Yeah, because I know,
of America.
like when we were younger, there was like, I don't know if you'd call it scuttlebutt or talk about, like they put up Rust in Peace because they needed drug money or something. Like they just threw it together.
I think that might have been referring to Peace Cells.
Yeah.
I don't know. I refuse to think that
No, that
Rust in Peace was a drug.
absolutely not.
They were clean at that point. There's no way they could have pulled that shit off.
No.
Wow,
No.
not my opinion. But yeah, what is this? Rust in Peace, the inside story of the Megadeth masterpiece. New book by the lead vocalist, guitarist, and primary songwriter of Megadeth, Dave Mustaine. And they bother to say original lead guitarist of Metallica.
Metallica's just got to worm its way in there, don't it?
Mm-hmm. Shit. I owe money now.
Oh.
Fuck. Anyway, well, that's kind of cool. You know, that's the fact that they're doing a memoir, like, you know, like the Rolling Stones did a memoir. You know what I mean? And now it's fucking Mustaine's turn, or Megadeth's turn. Pretty cool shit. So yeah, let's see. I guess that's a blurb about the book. So it appears to be available through Hackett Books. Hatchet Books? Hackett Books. Whatever. Yeah, so Dave Mustaine got a book. It's all about Rust in Peace. That'd be interesting. I don't know if I can find an ebook version of it. I might check it out.
I was going to say, I'm not going to go get the hard copy, but...
Yeah. So, archive. Look at this motherfucker. Lil Wayne rocks some waist pants that says municipal waste on them. I don't really have too much to say about that, except that, look at this dude.
Yeah.
We've mentioned this before, though, like people like wearing T-shirts, and now I guess this is pants that somebody sewed a municipal waste T-shirt onto, or something like that. It's hard to say. It's hard to quite make out from the glare of his carnation pink tennis shoes.
But it's Lil Wayne.
It's Lil Wayne.
It's awesome.
The dude's just an excellent guitar player.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But another example of, like, you know, people outside of the fucking, you know, underground metal or metal scene at all, you know, really these are like kind of, these are more or less pop people, I think.
Yeah, well, speaking of that, not really outside the realm, but Body Count put out a new album.
You know, I heard a couple of the tracks from that one.
I didn't like completely dislike Body Count.
I got one criticism.
I mean, I wasn't a fan, but I mean,
I got one criticism of it. Okay, they tend to do this thing with I mean, they kind of follow verse, chorus, verse, you know, structure, but with the chorus, always seems to include like an ensemble of overlaid tracks of yelling, you know, often enough it's the title of the song.
Oh, yeah.
And Ice-T, we get it. The band is called Body Count. You don't have to repeat that in every single song. I hear you. But apart from that, yeah, that's my criticism.
And in my YouTube feed, I don't know if this is a cover track or if this is something they did, but it was Body Count in the studio, and they did a cover of Rain and Blood.
I have not heard that.
Yeah. It's kind of weird. I mean, the music cool. is you know, is what it is. You can't really. It's not, because I mean, Body Count didn't do like a traditional rap thing anyway, so it's not. It's a real drummer, and he's actually playing the shit.
Oh yeah.
The guitar players are shredding.
Oh yeah. Pretty good musicians on that.
Oh yeah, they are. And you know, Ice-T's doing his thing, but you know, and I imagine they handpicked that one because it was kind of easy for Ice-T to do. You know. Check it out if you want.
Maybe, yeah. I'll go sniff around and see if I can find that. No picture here, but you know who Brian Posehn is?
I knew it because I have this as one of my stories.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah. In case you don't know,
All right.
I mean, you would have to put a picture of him because
I'm going to pull that up.
he's done like a lot of comic books, and he's done like a lot of voiceover stuff. He's a comedian. He's that big, tall, goofy guy. He's real deadpan, really dry, like big emo kind of, I guess, kind of guy. He's done a lot of supporting roles. I think he was in Devil's Rejects. He was in that Saving Sarah Silverman thing.
Huh.
He was in a few, always supporting roles, kind of. But he's like one of those guys you don't know who he is, but if you saw him, you're like, oh yeah, that guy.
That dude, right.
So tell him what he did.
All right, so he headline, Brian Posehn
Yeah, something.
roasts Anthrax's Scott Ian on new song Grandpa Metal. And he's done a few songs. I think he said maybe an album or two of comedic metal.
He has a new album out called Grandpa Metal.
Grandpa Metal. And I guess that's the title track to the new album. And Scott Ian has done music before. But, yeah, so I've heard a bit of this song, and it's kind of picking specifically on Scott Ian for being, Grandpa Metal. Giving him shit, but whatever. He's playing on the fucking album, so obviously it's an inside thing. And
he's a comedian.
He's a comedian. I mean, it's a joke. I mean, it's not supposed to be. He's
always been known as, that he's a metalhead. So
right.
But don't even bother. I mean, if you want to, go check out. It's like a Posehn, his last name, and it's like written like Metallica, and it's a bunch of old grandpas with his face on it. It's pretty terrible.
Yeah, well,
but I mean, it's not like it was meant to be serious.
No, it's not. It's not going to be.
That guy.
Yeah, that is. So there it is. Yeah. Grandpa Metal. Very funny. Okay. He had a video that I saw a few years back, and it was called Metal by Numbers. Did you see that one?
No.
It was like him watching TV, and he was like, "Oh, these old metal these new metal bands are lame. What are they even doing? Are they even? They're not. This is not even metal." And they showed like some screamo band or something, or like a fake screamo band or whatever. And so he does like a thrashy kind of song. He's not really singing either. He's just kind of like doing comedy over rhythm, sort of. You'd have to hear it anyway. We're not pushing it for the quality of the music. We're observing the silliness of it all. So
you'll probably do exactly what we did. We kind of like listen to it and like, oh, okay, that's what it is.
I guess it's a comedy album for people who don't mind a whole bunch of metal music in the background. All right. Danny DeVito, spotted at Mr. Bungle's show, started giving Mike Patton acting tips. So I don't know if he was invited there or what, but here's Danny DeVito, just doing what he does, I suppose, just being interesting and funny.
I love that guy.
At a Mr. Bungle show. Yeah, me too, dude. That guy, fuck, okay, so...
Dude, Always Sunny in Philadelphia is the fucking greatest show on the face of the earth.
That was like the revitalization of Danny DeVito, but I never really thought he was like fading away or anything. I mean, I think for a while he was doing like a lot of directing and writing, instead of being as much on the... on Spotlight, but shit, dude, during the 80s and the 90s. Twins.
I'm really surprised.
Mama from the Train.
Yeah.
Right? Romancing the Stone.
I'm surprised he's still around, really, because what is he? He's got to be close to 60.
Shit. I don't know. But
he's up there, but it's like, I don't know, the little fucker just seems like he's going to have a heart attack any minute.
He's 75 years old.
Yeah,
dude.
well, there you go.
I guess he's kind of pushing it, but... fuck it. You know, while he's still around, he's obviously still having fun and just kind of making people laugh and doing his thing. And so he's giving Mike Patton acting tips. And I don't know, is Lombardo playing with Mr. Bungle now? Because here he is with
that's Dave Lombardo.
Dave Lombardo. Yeah.
Maybe.
Dave Lombardo, of course. He was in a band. You might have heard of them. They're called Slayer.
And didn't he do shit with 6 Feet Under?
Did he do six? Oh shit! Who did he play with?
I want to
say he might have done a brief stint with like Testament for a little while. I don't know about 6 Feet Under.
A lot of people did shit with Testament.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I believe they have a new album coming out soon. It's actually kind of cool that they've been pushing it through all these years.
Yeah.
You know? So, I mean, they've been doing it for, 30 plus years at this point. And the shit, I mean, I've listened to some of the more recent stuff, and it's heavy, dude. They lost Alex Skolnick, but they've just, they maintained that intensity. And Chuck Billy is an excellent vocalist. I think he tends to be kind of underrated in the scene. But if you listen to the kind of shit that he does, let's see. Go listen to DNR. Do Not Resuscitate. For like a fucking brutal track.
Testament, and then Suicidal Tendencies.
Did he do Suicidal?
Since 2016.
Huh, okay. Interesting.
Okay.
Dave, we love you. So, yeah. Danny DeVito, Mr. Bungle. Cool. All right. Moving right along. What do we got? A little bit of Napalm Death here. So, they streamed a new 7-inch Logic Ravaged by Brute Force. They, of course, have a new album coming out soon, and they will be going on tour in Europe with I Hate God. Awesome.
Misery. Oh, that's good. That's a little shout out to that's a hometown band.
That is a hometown band. Yes,
for us.
Nolan's own I Hate God, of whom we've spoken before on this show. Misery Index, excellent. Rotten Sound and Bat. The funny thing to me is that there is a band called Bat.
What?
Bat. Bat. B-A-T. Bat. Okay. Bat, live at St. Vitus Bar, September 2nd, 2016. I don't know. I've never heard of them, but they're called Bat. Which I guess the bat is one of the spookier of animals, but I don't know. I think it's kind of a funny, maybe kind of weak name. Bat.
Yeah, but it's one of those names. Like, how has that not taken already?
Well, I mean, whoever is the better band gets to keep the name.
Yeah.
So there's probably going to be B-A-A-T because they, couldn't keep the name, and maybe B-A-T-T.
I know there was a Battalion, and I thought they were pretty good, actually.
I never heard of them. Battalion. All right, Napalm Death, and they're going on tour, and they got some new shit coming out, and they're coming down to
Oh yeah.
Where are they playing at? Southport Hall, maybe? I don't know. It's coming up. I want to say in May, sometime in the spring. Yeah, I'll keep you posted. We'll make this happen.
Oh, yeah, we'll definitely have to go to that.
All right, Napalm Death, into the archives with you, my old metal friends. Grindcore. All right, so remember this dude from St. Landry Parish who burned down 3 Baptist churches?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's pleaded guilty. So he's going to the slammer.
Well, I think he was going to the slammer no matter what.
Yeah. 22-year-old. I'm not even going to say his name. I'm just probably going to post a picture of him and, deface his face in some comical way. Because I don't like the idea of like giving violent offenders and serial killers and mass shooters and shit like that any more attention than they that they deserve, and certainly no more publicity than they deserve. But anyway, yeah, this dude, he was involved in a few church burnings. There was I wish I would have quoted this. So yeah, he's going to be sentenced, faces a minimum sentence of 10 years in prison, statutory maximum sentence of 7 years in prison. Okay, yeah, here we go. The fires Matthews set destroyed each of the church buildings. Matthews, just said his name. Maybe I'll bleep it out, we'll see. The fires Dickhead set destroyed each of the church buildings. Dickhead admitted to setting the fires because of the religious character of these buildings, here it is, in an attempt to raise his profile as a black metal musician.
That's
by copying similar crimes committed in Norway in the 1990s. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, we saw it coming. We knew that was the case, but he admitted it to authorities or whatever. All right, dude. Dude, I'm not a religious person really at all, but it'd be funny if he like burned in hell as a result of that.
Right.
Funny thought. Anyway, Super 7 reveals new action figures for Slayer, Megadeth, Anthrax, King Diamond, and more. So the makers, we just keep plugging these fucking Slayer figures because as I'm sure you notice, I've been prominent in our videos. So let me see if I can find out. These are the ones that are categories. Music. These are the ones that are currently available, Troy. As you see, they've expanded their repertoire.
Oh, Ghost.
Yeah, they got Papa Emeritus from Ghost as a figure. Eddie Maiden. They've got several of them, dude. They got each album.
Looks like they have all of them.
Somewhere in Time is one of my favorite ones. Number of the Beast. Well, I guess it's not Eddie. It's just like the Beast. Yeah, Stranger in a Strange Land. Live After Death. Flight of Icarus. Peace of Mind. It goes on and on. This is kind of funny. The Twilight Zone is just black and white. And look, you got King Diamond now. Isn't that great? Look, you got Vic from
Megadeth.
From Megadeth. We got Misfits. You got your whoever that is, the skeleton guy, and multiple variations. And they got what is his? What's his name? Jerry?
Oh, Jerry Only.
Let's see, page 2. And these are just the ones that are available now. Different variations of Jerry Only and the Misfits Skull Guy. And there you got Motorhead, regular and black and white. I'm sorry, that's glow in the dark. War Pig, I guess he's called. and then your Slayer guys. I don't see the all black one available, and they might have sold out of that one. I wonder.
We have it here.
Yeah, we got it here in mint condition, bruh. All right. So yeah, that's fine. But they have some others that I saw pictures of. Let me see if I can find variations. Satanic Minotaur. See if I could find.
There's Power Slave.
Yeah.
Nice.
What you call it? Fuck.
Eddie made.
With the.
Oh, Trooper.
Trooper. Jesus. Yes, thank you. Trooper. So, let's see. They got others that are. Oh. No. Where's my Instagram links? They got a few others out there. They said Anthrax. They have I guess the Preacher character that's on the cover of Among the Living. Megadeth. I guess more examples of Vic. King Diamond we already saw. And I think they got one for Venom. That Baphomet-looking thing
Oh,
from
yeah,
Venom's
yeah.
Black Metal, I think it is, on the cover.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
So, yeah, go Super 7. We don't mind, I guess, plugging you, but you make some cool shit, so yeah, make these metalheads happy. Little astronomy news. Astronomers detect biggest explosion in the history of the universe. That's kind of cool, isn't it? Yeah. Next to the Big Bang. Anyway, they broke a record, is what it is. There was an explosion that broke the record of the previously biggest one that we have.
Is that the one that sent the ripples in time and space?
I don't think so. It came from a supermassive black hole.
I'm sure it did.
Well, yeah, I'm sure it did. At the center of a galaxy hundreds of millions of light years away. And we don't know why it's so big. I don't know either. But anyway.
Probably a star exploded. A star went supernova, maybe.
Let's see. It was let me see. Blast came from a supermassive black hole the center.
An explosion from a black hole.
It came from a supermassive black hole. We don't know why but it happened very slowly, like an explosion in slow motion that took place over hundreds of millions of years. I mean, we know that black holes are not eternal.
Right.
Steve Hawking proved that. But as far as the explosion, I mean, I don't know. They could have. It's probably one that was spinning, and we know that spinning black holes have, I guess, kind of unusual properties. Just kind of depending on the direction of the spin. You know what? I don't fucking know.
Well, and they don't either.
They may not. I mean, we can speculate. I mean, you can guess, like, you know. I mean, they're constantly, you know, drawing.
Maybe it was full.
What I'm guessing is it's full. What I'm guessing is, you know, they accumulate that accretion disk, and there's like so much mass being spun around in there, it could have caused like some kind of like
or something.
There you go, a burping black hole.
That can't be good. That can't be good.
Let's change the subject. I'm gonna end with this, dude. Amorphous. Remember those guys?
Yeah, I got that too.
So they just come up a couple days ago. They're going on tour playing the Tales from the Thousand Lakes in full.
It's like, oh, thank you. Mm-hmm. Thank you. And bust up them tour dates, baby.
Well, September 11th to October 25th. Shit.
Yes.
That's a lot of dates. Look, they're going nonstop, dude. 14th, they got a break on September 17th in order to get from Toronto, Quebec to...
Yeah, they're starting up north and they're working their way down. And I think they're getting as close as to Houston, I believe.
Houston at the Scout Bar.
Houston. What is that date?
It's going to be October 15.
October 15th.
October 15, which is a...
Don't give a fuck.
Thursday. Ah. All right.
Looks like I'm going to Houston.
Okay.
I'm not fucking missing that, dude.
You know what? I think a lot of people. You know what? Road trip.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
Road trip.
Because in Slayer's farewell tour, the closest they're gonna get to us is Houston as well, and that's gonna be on June 17th. And I think I'm gonna be out of town. I'm either gonna be at the Little League World Series or Scout Summer Camp or something. And that sucks. But Amorphous playing Tales of a Thousand Lakes. Oh yes, I'm fucking going to that.
Okay.
Incredible.
Yeah, that's
about fucking time.
Well, whatever. I was just looking up the Slayer thing, but whatever. I thought they already finished their tour, man. I thought that was over with.
No, I might be late on it though.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, Amorphous, dude. I remember that. You know, as the more I think about it, like that brings back some memories.
Oh man,
dude. Just, I mean, and I still listen to that album. I was listening to some Amorphous today, actually, but. Dude, like that just brings back memories of like just hanging out wintertime.
Yes.
Right? smoking clove cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is how fucking intense I was. Anyways,
It's such a great album.
dude, it's
And it just, it was one of them things like when we heard it, it's like, dude, this is the greatest thing I've ever heard.
and it was. I mean, it was kind of. I mean, they had other things like Paradise Lost that were kind of doing things similar to that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I prefer this to Paradise
Oh,
Lost.
sure.
And there was something about. I mean, first of all, I mean, it was like they were pretty young. Like they were starting. Like when we were listening to it, they were pretty much our contemporaries.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They were like our age. I'm like, okay, yeah, we're not doing anything like this except like covering one of their songs.
Right.
But it was fucking melodic and atmospheric and still heavy, and they changed a little bit, over time.
To me, it was the greatest example of fantasy metal.
Fantasy metal.
It was just... That's the best way I can describe it. If you happen to not know what Amorphous is about, but it's fantasy metal.
Based on fantasy.
Well, what was that book? Some fucking Icelandic Viking fucking book?
What was it called? Not Kavala. That's like fucking... the Hinderhungerfurgerdorden.
Yeah, that book.
Norse.
So, like, a lot of the lyrics and passages, there's passages in that books that are used for lyrics for that. And
Let's see if I could find that out.
but I don't know, like...
The Cantelatar,
Yeah, that
I
thing.
guess.
But, like, I don't... Like, the singer they have now, I don't think is the same singer.
No. Well, but
Isn't the guitar player sing for that album?
I believe he's still with them.
Yeah,
The
but
guitarist, but I don't know
he's
if
just playing
singing
guitar
so
now, I think.
Yeah. Is that Finnish mythology? I don't know if that's Finnish mythology book. Kalevala, that's the one.
Mm-hmm.
Kalevala. Well, yeah, I'm sure there's more than one.
And you can pick that up at your Icelandic biscuit.
at the mead hall.
Yeah.
In the halls of Valhalla. Well, it's probably the wrong mythology, but whatever,
You have to talk to the old wench in the corner.
Right, the old maid. Pay her with a single gold coin, and she will bring you milk for the rest of the night. Mead drink from the horn of power, and wine from the skull of the enemy, or some shit. I'm not pretending to be, an expert on this kind of thing. I'm just, I like Amorphous. So yeah, dude, let's take a road trip. And hey, Brian, are you with us? Because he's up in Houston. Tito?
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
So we'll have to hit him up. And that, I am sorry to say, is the end of my segment of the news. Troy, what you got?
Yeah, I had a couple of things at, of course, the Amorphous thing.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That just come out of, like, this week, I think, huh?
Yeah, it was new.
Pretty recent. He said with a swig.
Mm. Yeah, Grandpa Metal, we covered that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God. Not extremely related to metal,
Mm-hmm.
but we do like our science. New green technology
Okay.
generates electricity out of thin air. Ooh. So,
Thin air.
yeah, they developed a device that uses a natural protein to create electricity from moisture in the air.
Huh.
And we happen to have a whole lot of it here.
Oh, yeah.
New technology, say, could have significant implications for the future of renewable energy. Yay. So, like...
Cool.
And I've just and like, they have a lot of this technology, and they've been having it for a while.
Uh-huh.
Not this, but like, I do air conditioning and refrigeration.
Yep.
And I just I wish I had one, and I should get some because we could do a little experiment here, and it's pretty cool.
That sounds like fun.
Literally. So, like, they got these things they call a Peltier cell. And what it is it's basically just a positive and a negative, and it's two plates. And it transfers electricity, DC, from one side to the other. And the actual, because we had a little refrigerator, like those little college refrigerators, and we had one come through the shop, and it didn't work. So we're like, oh, let's see if we can fuck with this thing. And it didn't have a compressor. I was like, dude, how does this thing get cold? There's no refrigerant, no Freon, no compressor. Like, how does this get cold?
No, it wasn't missing. What you're saying, it just didn't have one.
Didn't have one.
Okay.
It had one of these Peltier units in it.
Okay.
And what it is, it's a flat little square. It's about this big. You can get them on eBay for like $2 a piece. And what you do is you hook up. You got to have a transformer and hook like 12 volts, 9 volts, whatever. The voltage really doesn't matter because what it is it's the transfer of electricity. And the remote, because a lot of things, what you might not understand is you can't make anything cold. That's not how it works. It works by, you make something cold by removing the heat. So the act of refrigeration for any process is not making something cold, it's removing the heat from something. So bearing that in mind, you hook this thing to like a hunk of aluminum, like a heat sink, and you put like a little fan on it. And as long as you can remove the heat and it dissipates the heat, the transfer of the heat from the positive side to the negative side, and as long as you're removing the heat, it will the other side will get fucking cold. And when I'm telling you, like, because we hooked it up to like a 15-volt transformer. We put 15 volts. We had a big fucking heatsink. And the heatsink was kind of cold anyway. And we stuck this thing on there, and it got about negative 15 degrees in about 30 seconds.
What the fuck?
The top part of it. The bottom of it got warm, but as long as you're removing the heat, it will keep getting colder. And the more electricity you put to it, the more DC voltage you put to it, and the more you can remove the heat, the bigger heat sink, and the more fans you put on the other side of it to remove it, it'll keep getting colder.
Okay. How does that compare in terms of efficiency from like, traditional HVAC?
Well, the only problem I see with it is that it can't really handle like heat loads really well. Like if you were introducing continual hot things to it. Like, they use in the medical field for, like, they got these, like if you had knee surgery, they got these wraps.
Yeah.
And it's got, like, this connected to this tank of water. And they got these cells on the bottom of it that chill the water, and it keeps you, and it's wrapped
so
and it
circulates. Water
there's a pump and it circulates. But I think, like, if you was to introduce any kind of heavy heat load to it, then it probably doesn't handle it. But that technology has been around forever, almost since the birth of electricity. They've known about this.
Okay.
But they just started applying this in the medical field. But the thing is, it just takes DC voltage. So if you can hook this thing to a solar panel, a little small solar panel, if that generates enough to get it cold enough, it works for free. And now you got this thing. Now they're talking about generating electricity out of thin air. Tesla would be very happy.
Oh, shit. I'm going to... So speaking of science, I didn't bookmark this, but one of my favorite science names... Freeman Dyson. Freeman Dyson passed away. Freeman Dyson passed away this week, I believe, at the age of 96. And He was one of the things I liked about him was that he's in mathematics and like physics and stuff, but he also did this like speculative, conceptual scientific theorizing. All right,
Okay.
So I think I was first exposed to his name.
Conceptual?
Well, I mean, that was
Theorizing.
like what he did for a living, but that was like something that he contributed, as sort of like one of those, minds of like where can science actually go? When at one point can science fiction, the kind of stuff that could someday become science fact, kind of thing. And I think I heard about it first on like an episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation, because one of the things that he talked about was, you ever heard of like what do they call them? And this might have been his idea. It was like class of civilization, like a class 0 civilization, class 1 civilization,
Oh, yeah,
civilization.
right.
And there's a pretty big steps, actually, between 1 and 2 and 3, right?
Yeah.
I think we might be a class 1, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe, because we have nuclear power or something like that, But, like...
and just to set the stage a little bit, like what he's talking about with the class, because, like, one of the theories about life out there is that, well, what if they're like a class 3 or class 4 civilization and they wouldn't even fuck with us?
Right.
They've probably observed us and just goes, okay, they're just,
They're beyond the idea.
They're beyond
of,
us
even
and like
giving a shit.
And they're so advanced, they know that if they were to present themselves to us, we wouldn't be able to understand what they even are.
Right.
So they just leave us alone.
Mm-hmm. So
Which isn't a bad theory, really.
No. But I mean, I think he was involved in the whole like what it would actually take in order to to do the kind of shit that he was thinking of. And so this it was called the Dyson sphere, and the whole idea was that it's
sounds German. The Dyson sphere.
Freeman Dyson, the Dyson sphere. And so the idea is like you get it technologically advanced so that you have the engineering skills and the technology to be able to wrap a structure around a star. Okay, so we're talking about a supermassive thing that would completely envelop a star, okay? And then the civilization exists on the interior of the sphere and gets pretty much, at least in terms of like magnitudes of like of lifetimes and generations, for all intents and purposes, unlimited energy. You know what I mean? So whatever you build this thing around a star, you live on the inside of the shell. So you're basically taking in and absorbing all of the energy produced by the star. None of it escapes the actual sphere, right? That's
the sphere.
That's ridiculous quantities of energy. And it would be, and there's another idea where you have, instead of a solid structure around the star, enough orbiting satellites around the star so that kind of absorbs and relays, I guess, solar energy for whatever planet or project or whatever the hell it is that you're talking about. So you're talking about living on the inside of a fucking shell that's enveloped around a star.
Which would be fucking huge because like our star, or sun, which is a star, is really small in comparison to a lot of them out there. And I've been seeing a lot of things recently about the sun.
Yes.
Not anything new and groundbreaking, but just for some reason, the sun has been coming up on a lot of the things that I view and look at. And it's a pretty magnificent fucking thing. And if you could harness that power, I mean, the surface of the sun is literally boiling.
Yeah.
It's what you would call, it's kind of a different, it's plasma, which isn't really a liquid, isn't really a solid, but it's burning hydrogen right now. Eventually, when it gets to the end of its life, it'll start burning helium, which is and that point will start to go supernova. But
We're not there yet.
no, we got about what they estimate, and they can.
So go ahead and buy that land in fucking Tampa Bay
don't
or
get too confused, because I mean they can calculate these things pretty well. The size of the core and the size of the sun, and for what the amount of fuel, and they can determine the rate on what it's burning and how it's burning it. We got about 4 or 5 billion years to go.
Did you say 4 or 5 million years?
Billion.
Oh, billion. Okay.
Yeah. Billion.
All right. So, yeah. Stars are incredible things, and if you could build basically a artificial planet around one, you probably aren't really worrying too much about, healthcare and,
Yeah,
conjoined
and even just
floats
thinking
and-
about that doesn't make sense to me. Because it would have to be so much further.
Yes, it would.
I mean, what are we, 93 million miles away from the sun? So that's the Goldilocks zone that's been proven again and again throughout different galaxies.
Yeah.
So it would have to be a structure 93 million miles away from the sun.
Give or take, actually probably larger than that, because you got to take into account that the entire thing would be absorbing all of the energy. That is, no
Yeah.
radiant energy would be lost in space. It would be absorbed or reflected by the structure.
So, say if you went out to Jupiter or fucking Saturn,
Maybe.
and you built a structure out there, you could, and perhaps put those. Well, it'd have to be. Well, those are gaseous. You'd have to have another rocky planet. But perhaps that would bring Mars into the Goldilocks zone once again, because it was in the Goldilocks zone at one time. And maybe further planets if you. It's kind of like a convection oven, like if you're cooking a hamburger and you just sear the outside and then you put the lid on the top of it, the bowl on the top of it to kind of cook it.
Yeah.
But you would have to have some pretty big relief valves, I would think.
And
you'd have to gas that off a little bit.
But that's the thing. Freeman Dyson kind of thought about that, and that's pretty fucking incredible. Anyway, they saw one in Star Trek, and that's the first time I heard of it. But I mean, I liked his way of thinking, and I liked the fact that somebody tried to think of that shit, and I guess theoretically something like that would be feasible.
I was going to say, theoretically it could work.
Yeah, and imagine now imagine the kind of civilization, just unfathomable technology and engineering and skills and resources and fucking time and energy that it would take into constructing something like that.
Yeah.
It's just mind-bogglingly stupid to even think about that happening anytime within even the existence of our civilization. But you know what? Star Trek Gene Roddenberry was a visionary, so was Freeman Dyson, and I guess they thought that we had potential. Not to be a naysayer, but maybe we do, maybe we don't. But I mean, think about the fact that let's just say, for this case, for the sake of argument, the structure would have to be the size of Jupiter's orbit. Okay,
Yeah.
that would be a solid sphere. Okay, that Jupiter's orbit would basically be the circumference of this sphere. Okay, now imagine that spinning around on an x-axis. That's just Jupiter. Okay, I don't know how many Jupiters it would take to envelop the surface, the interior surface of that sphere, but that's how many people could live on the inside of a Dyson sphere.
It'd be approximately about 986 million. I have no idea.
Dude, we're talking probably, trillions of people
Yeah.
can exist inside of this thing, all entirely living off of the energy of the fucking star. And I know what you're asking, okay? I know what you're asking. What happens when the star begins to fucking expand or burn out or whatever. Well, if you could build one of these things, you've already planned way the fuck ahead.
Well,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
and like I'm saying,
And that's the cool thing to think about when you think about
we can predict that now. We know when our sun is going to burn out.
Exactly. Just a little forethought, and you can make it happen.
We can our measly type 1 or level 1 civilization
Maybe
can,
not even. We're probably just a type 0, actually.
yeah, and we can calculate when our sun is going to burn out. We know it's going to be 4 or 5 billion years from now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Minus a few solar flares and
Yeah, give or take. Maybe a gamma ray burst that'll just fucking
Yeah.
do us all in way before that.
which
Who
is
knows?
possible.
Any second now.
Yeah, it could be happening right now.
Could be happening.
One could have already happened in
It's just on its way.
about 8 minutes.
Yeah. Who knows? But again, gamma ray burst is going to come from like way outside our solar system, so it's going to take some time.
It could already have happened.
That's right.
Nah.
I guess you wouldn't hear anything, but yeah, probably not. Anyway, not within this. So, yeah, I don't know if we should mention on air any of our speculative our ideas for, like, you know, what's going to happen with this show, and you know, how can we maybe evolve in a bit. Maybe we'll keep that on the hush hush. That's up to you.
Well, I don't think it really matters because I'm gonna go ahead and check it right now.
Okay.
And I think let's see. Nope, that's not right.
This podcast, by the way, was brought to you by Booze. Booze.
Well, we currently have
Booze.
16 subscribers.
Oh, 16.
I'm one of them.
Me too.
So
thanks for all the 14 of y'all who have, you know, given us yet another reason to live. I don't know. We're thinking about maybe expanding a little bit, and just kind of
because it's been so successful.
Well, you know, I mean, it's been scroll down to episode 1. I believe it would have been July.
Oh, wait. It's not in order.
It's not in order?
Hmm.
Well, fuck me.
I only had episode 1 on here.
Eh? Oh, go to videos.
Oh,
It'll
shit.
list them all.
Oh, now they're in order.
Yeah.
Yeah, July 20th.
July 20th, 2018.
Yeah.
So we've been doing this bullshit for like a good year and a half.
Year and a half, yeah.
And this summer is going to be 2 years. Well, I say it's time to grow up.
Yeah.
It's time to be men. Not the little mice that we were a year and a half ago.
Manly men.
Those little spineless worms trying to
Men
make
in
a little
tights.
podcast. Yes. It's time to... You know, when fucking Mel Brooks dies, dude,
I
I'm going to
know.
be really torn
Oh,
up.
man.
Because he's still around, dude.
This is
mean-
this is my son, Achu. God bless you.
So, what was it? Achu, father of Asniz, or son of Asniz.
Bless you.
Dude. Okay, now we're going to go on a tangent. Fucking Spaceballs,
I am
fucking
Robin
Blazing
Hood,
Saddles.
and these are my
fucking
merry
in
men.
Tights.
Fegless?
No, we're straight. Just married.
Just marry. As I.
Comb the desert! Sir, aren't we being a little too literal? You heard him. He said, comb the desert. We're combing the desert.
We ain't found shit. When is then going to be now? Just
Soon.
now. Soon.
Soon.
But when? Just now. You just missed it.
Escape pod. Oh, God. All right, yeah. That's,
Spaceballs.
oh, shit. Dark Earth Replenish.
Oh, shit. There goes the planet.
Gee, it's a shock that we only got 16 subscribers. This is comedy gold right here, Troy.
I'm telling you, I don't know what's going on here.
So anyway, I think we're going to have some conversations still. But I mean, I perhaps expect some changes. Maybe not changes in the podcast per se, but perhaps
expansion. We were talking about a radio station, internet radio station
over the internet.
Yeah,
the information superhighway.
Yes,
as they called it in my youth.
We will take advantage of this thing called the internet. Mm-hmm. And use it to its full potential. Because
we believe that the internet might be where it's at. We think the internet might be the future, So we're putting our top dollars in some of the up and coming companies like AOL.
We think it's something that just might catch on.
Netscape and yeah, exactly. The internet, eh? So we're gonna do some more homework.
Yeah, and I mean, it might have some, we might get some, see about having playlists, and of course it would be a playlist coming from us. Not sure how the copyright bullshit will work out with that.
Well, that's the trick, isn't it?
But, I actually thought about having a real radio station.
Mm-hmm.
Like a FM, or even if it's AM. But you got to fuck with the FCC, and nothing moves. Because if you want to do that, I mean, there's too much bullshit. Internet radio is the way to go. No censorship, and you can use a variety of hosts to put it out there. I'd have to build a fucking radio tower in the fucking backyard.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen.
No, the neighbors may be cross. And also with the FCC, I'd rather get as far away from that jackass Pie or whatever his name is, who is the
Marconi?
What? No. What is his name? Ajit Pai or something like that. That fucking furor of the FCC.
It takes you about 2 years to get a license anyway.
Yeah, fuck that. I know you can't get away with it when it comes to communications, any kind of telecommunications.
Yeah.
But he fucked net neutrality and Ajit Pai. Let's see if I can pull up the scumbag. There he is. Look at that big punchable face, huh?
Oh yeah.
Dude, don't you? Ajit. Whatever. Don't you just want to fucking blow a load in his face?
Yeah.
Fucking shithead.
I could do it right now.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, let's not get political all of a sudden, but, fuck that dude. And his net neutrality raping rules. Yeah. Fuck him. So anyway, if we could deal a little bit less with the FCC, the better. Because, as you said, it's bureaucracy.
Yeah.
Out the ass. So,
we're
doing some homework.
We're going to look at the internet radio thing and see how that might work.
We might need to talk to our buddy Bobby B.
Yep.
Yeah, because I think he might have some ideas that might be helpful. So, we're going to look into it. No. And I got nothing.
And, I think I'm going to get a drink.
Mm-hmm. Go for it.
I have a glass for you.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. And I've got a quarter of a flask left. You want to go ahead and wrap this up, Troy?
I think we can.
I think we could do that.
Shorter episodes, but
at over an hour, I think it's still just fine. Just fine the way it is, and remember, ladies, gentlemen, and all things in between, we love you, just the way you are. Hey, by the way, I just rewatched the Ricky Rackman video. It was a video of the Ricky Rackman interview with David Vincent from Morbid Angel from way back in the 90s. And it was kind of cool. It was pretty interesting. There was a nice little dig David Vincent made toward Metallica, because they had the same. Was the engineer? I think it might have been the producer, Fleming Rasmussen.
Oh.
Who I think did he at least did. Thank you.
Straight up.
He at least did And Justice for All.
Yeah.
Fleming Rasmussen is a Danish engineer, producer, mixer, owner, and founder of Sweet Silence Studios in Copenhagen, Denmark.
Copenhagen.
And yeah, he definitely did Metallica. Yeah, produced. Yeah, he did Master of Puppets and Justice for All. Oh, and Ride the Lightning. Well, he also apparently did Covenant. He produced, Morbid Angel's Covenant. And this was around the time, actually. We'll see the year right now. Dude, isn't the internet so useful? I think this thing's got potential.
And that'll be further proof to you that the reason And Justice for All came out the way it did is because of fucking Lars. End of story.
I'll happily blame a Danish man. Hey, cheers.
Cheers.
Fuck Lars.
Fuck Lars.
And we can say that without the FCC interviewing. So Covenant come out in 93. So this interview is sometime around 93. And he just made this wonderful dig about Fleming Rasmussen, when he was when he did the old Metallica stuff, the real heavy wink wink Metallica stuff. And this is like a nice blippy fucking, the tracking was off. Remember when on VHS tapes when you had to fuck with the tracking?
Mm-hmm.
And
And Justice for All was heavy too. It just sounded like shit.
Justice for All, but no. What he was saying is like he did the heavy stuff, basically implying everything after that.
Oh,
just kind of like became kind of like, this is when Metallica started to have feelings.
Oh.
All right, that's a bit of a cheapening of the whole thing, but I mean, they basically became less heavy. Even the Black Album was heavy in comparison to everything that came after that.
Oh, yeah.
The tonic, sound-wise, he's still sang like he sang before, even though the song structure was different. And yeah, they had Nothing Else Matters and The Unforgiven, the two ballads of the album, and that was
Nothing Else Matters. Yeah.
But when it came down to it, when he you had that fucking kind of thing going on with his voice. Yeah. Now he's like, whatever the fuck, fucking Rick Rock started, or whatever his fucking name was.
Oh, Bob Rock.
Bob Rock, yeah, Bob Rock. Sorry. I didn't mean to offend all Ricks out there by calling him Rick Rock. And all the Bobs out there, fuck you, for being even slightly associated with Bob Rock. So yeah, I mean that was a fun little interview because he had that little pot shot at Metallica at that time. So anyway, I just saw that recently. End of story. How about we end this? Unless you've got anything else to say.
No.
Okay.
No, I'm good.
All right.
One fist in your sister and one foot in your mother.
And until next time, party on, Troy.